Hi everyone! So today I'd like to talk to you guys about some interesting word origins of some commonly used words. So how many of you actually know where the words you use every day come from and what they really mean and what they originally meant and how their meanings changed over time? Not many of you, right? So as an avid reader and an obvious user of the English language, I'm constantly wondering where these words that I use every day come from and how their meanings came about. So one day I stumbled upon an article, and in that article it really outlined some interesting word origins, and that sparked my interest on the topic. So from that article I learned that to better understand our language, it's really helpful to look at where our words came from and what they originally meant. And to do this, you really need to look at a word's etymology. And the word etymology means the study of the history of words, their origins, and how their meanings have changed over time. So on the board, I have a list of some words that are probably familiar and that you probably use pretty commonly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to define them and then go over their etymology and their origin and how they really came to be. So the first word is gadget, and a gadget is a small or useful device. The word gadget has been around since the 1850s. It was used to describe a small mechanical thing or part of a ship that sailors lacked, and it then became popular as a slang word on ships. The next word is pamphlet, which is a small, thin book with no cover, or only a paper cover that has information about a particular subject. Pamphlet comes from the title of a Latin love poem called Pamphilius that was supposedly passed from person to person, as pamphlets are done today. The next word is lukewarm, which means slightly warm or not enthusiastic, or not showing or having energy. And lukewarm is actually redundant. Luke meant warm in Middle English, so lukewarm literally means warm, warm. The next word is jumbo, which means a very large specimen of its kind. The word jumbo became popular after P.T. Barnum bought an elephant named Jumbo, who would consume 200 pounds of hay, 1 barrel of potatoes, 2 bushels of oats, 15 loaves of bread, a slew of onions, and several pails of water every day. His name likely stems from 2 Swahili words, jambo meaning hello and jumba or chief. The next word is whiskey, which means a strong alcoholic drink made from grains such as rye, corn, or barley. And the word whiskey is shortened from Whiskey Bay, which comes from the Old English Uskabe, derived from 2 Gaelic words, uis and bethlu, which means life. Thus, whiskey literally means the water of life. The next word is disaster, which is defined as something such as a flood, tornado, plane crash that happens suddenly and causes much suffering or loss to many people. And the word disaster is formed by 2 Greek words, dis meaning bad and aster meaning stars. The ancient Greeks would blame calamities or different disasters on unfavorable planetary positions. The next word is assassin, which is defined as a person who kills someone, usually for political reasons or money. The word assassin came to use because during the Crusades, a sect of Muslims would smoke hashish and then murder opposing leaders. They started going by the name Hashishian, which meant hashish users in Arabic. Through centuries of mispronunciation, the English changed it to assassin. The next word is muscle, which is a body tissue that can contract and produce movement. The word muscle comes from the Latin root meaning little mouse. Apparently people used to think muscles looked like little mice under their skin, which kind of makes sense, I guess. The next word is mortgage, which is a legal agreement in which a person borrows money to buy property and pays back the money over a period of years. Mortgage comes from the French expression meaning death pledge, which is what a lot of people see mortgage as, I think. The next word is war, which is a state or period of fighting between countries or groups. War comes from the Germanic root that means to confuse, which that's what war is, a lot of confusion between a lot of people. The next word is tragedy, which is defined as a very bad event that causes great sadness. And the word tragedy comes from the Greek word tragedoga, which means song of the male goat. This one doesn't really make any sense, but it's kind of interesting to see how its origin really goes with its meaning, but not really at all. The next word is lunatic, which is defined as affected with lunacy or designed for the care of insane persons. Lunatic is derived from the Latin word luna, meaning moon, and originated from the belief that insanity is caused by changes in the moon. The next word is malaria, and it is a serious disease that causes chills and fever that is passed from one person to another by the bite of mosquitoes. Malaria comes from the Latin phrase malaria, meaning bad air, and was used to describe the atmosphere around the swamps of Rome, which is where a lot of people could catch malaria. Nice, which is defined as giving pleasure or joy, good and enjoyable, kind, polite, and friendly. It comes from the Latin word meaning ignorant. The next word is addict, which means to devote or surrender oneself to something habitually or obsessively. The word addict comes from ancient Rome when soldiers were awarded slaves known as addicts, which is the Latin word for slaves. It eventually came to refer to a person who was a slave to anyone or anything. The next word is noon, which is defined as the middle of the day, 12 o'clock in the daytime. And the word noon comes from the Latin phrase nona hora, or ninth hour. And in ancient Rome, noon was actually around 3 p.m. Next word is nightmare, which is a dream that frightens a sleeping person. And the word nightmare comes from an old English word, mare, that refers to a demon who suffocates you in your sleep, which is kind of what nightmares do. The last word is denim, which is a strong, usually blue cotton cloth that is used especially to make jeans. And the word denim comes from Nimes, France. It was therefore originally called serge de Nimes, or fabric from Nimes. The serge soon disappeared, then left us with denims, which is denim. So in conclusion, it's not only important to know where words come from, but it's incredibly interesting to learn about their etymologies. Hopefully this speech informed you on some commonly used words, and I hope this sparked your interest like that article sparked mine. Thank you all for your attention.